So
Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung. I am your host, KG Landry. And man, we have a very dysfunctional show tonight, as always on Tuesday nights. With me is the official Hall of Famer, the cooker, the superficial cooker, Bob Cook.
Superficial Hall of Fame.
Next to Bob, that's right. Next to Bob is George Strong, the man who claims to be the best ref in the damn industry. Below me is Kurt, 30 plus years in the industry. We call him the teacher. He has supposedly taught some guys how to wrestle. And next to Kurt is a special guest, K9 Cole. He actually has some interesting news about some things happening with CAC, and he will be joining us for the recap tonight. What's going on, K9?
Not much. How you doing?
Can I say something?
Doing great, my man.
You will anyway.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, go ahead.
The referee in the WWE, John Cone, just got his own action figure. Does George have one of those? I dispute the best referee in the business claim.
well,
Nope.
Teddy Long has an action figure as a referee as well. So does that make John Cone the best referee?
Good point. Does he have an action figure as a referee? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. So just to speed this up, so there's the John Cone figure just came out, but it was a Build-A figure first. Teddy Long's is a Build-A figure as well for the Monday Night War. Yeah.
It's two figures now that aren't Build-A figures, so there's that. There's three figures.
Got me there. Well, I got a custom pop figure made by my daughter. Does that count?
I signed a deal with the Power Town action figures, but that company went.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get back to K9. Go ahead, my man.
The best action figures in the business is made by Sin Bodhi.
Oh, we know why you did that. We know where he's going.
100%
He's going to be with
I
Sin
agree
Bodhi at the
100%.
Cali. He's going to be with him at the Cali for Alley Club. That's what we call schmoozing. Well, it's okay. But that's what's going on.
He really does some great work.
Oh, I agree.
So what's happening with the CAC?
But we got a big one again. This is the second year for On the Fly. It is an awesome event. If you missed it last year, you better come on out and do it. Now, I'm helping organize and recruiting the talent for On the Fly. For those of you who do not know what On the Fly is, the opponents do not even know who they're wrestling until it's time for them to get in the ring. It's just go as you do it. You just do it and go, and you just have a good time. And, well, you're going to get your ass kicked possibly. But here's the thing. You're going to have your wrestlers sitting on the back part of the ring, heels on one side, faces on the other. Legends will come over, pick the wrestlers they want to see get in the ring. And you get in and you do your thing. You do not know who you're wrestling. You do not know what's going on until you get in the ring. You just have to go for it. Show us what you got. You got to be tough. You got to be able to go through this.
Are there any women wrestlers involved?
I don't know if I don't have anybody recruited this year so far, but that
So
can
much
change.
for that showing us what you got gimmick. Oh,
I know, right?
Well, hey guys, let's not forget, guys, that I do mentor a lot of kids that are properly trained by like Cody Hawk and Roger Ruffin and guys like that that are available. So if I need to get a hold of you, I got some talent. Sin Bodhi knows me and knows my credentials. So that's what I do.
I will get with you at the end and get you. I'll get good with KG and get your info on Facebook so I can get to you and you can send me their info and I get them signed up. I do want women wrestlers to be involved in this. Absolutely. 100%.
I've got plenty. I got a couple girls just in mind that have been seen and they're very good talent. And I think you would love them. One's even a second generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we didn't have any last year. No, we did have one.
And K-Dot,
But
correct me if I'm
was that second generation, original generation, one of them dirty jobbers though? I want to know.
So her name is Ari Alexander. And if you guys ever watched that OVW show they had on Netflix,
Oh, that was good.
Heels or Wrestlers or whatever, she was on there several times. She's traveled all over. Me and Bill Brown have even helped her out, and she's gotten her own bookings everywhere. She's been on AEW and stuff like that. So I mean, she's a very good talent. I think she'd be really good for CAC for the show.
And K-Dot, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was also told that this included those who wanted to be involved in professional wrestler, even as a manager. Is that correct, or was that bogus information?
No, managers can get involved as well. Referees, announcers, and valets. It's anybody who's talent. It's just going to be a really good time. Last year, you remember the Royal Hawaiian from Glow?
Yes.
She was a manager last year. So
nice.
She actually got somebody really good with a pineapple right in the face. So yeah, you can. It was
Now we're talking.
His eyes were burning for quite a long time.
Just think, if they ever kill anybody, they can use that as an excuse for the concussion they have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or the dementia they develop because of the concussion they had.
Exactly.
So if anyone's interested, they how do they get a hold of you?
Get a hold of me on Facebook under Al Van Pleet, and I will get you signed up. Now, here's the thing: if you're in the business, this is a great opportunity because it could really kick your career up a lot of degrees. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you're going to be wrestling in front of legends. In fact, the legends are going to pick the wrestlers, and you'll be wrestling in front of promoters from literally all over the world.
And you don't know what scouts are going to be there. There's usually scouts there too sometimes. Yes.
Yep, and the WWE always has a table there for the banquet. So this includes. Now the thing is, you can just come in and wrestle and leave if you want. But my suggestion would be stay for the whole event. The actual banquet runs from the 18th to the 20th. The banquet tickets are only $150. It includes 2 big meals, all the events, the award ceremony, and the cool thing is this year, for the very first time, we're doing a roast, and we're roasting Mick Foley. So
correct, and K9, but you do have to be a member of the CAC, correct?
Yes, and membership is only $35 a year, or $400 for a lifetime membership, and fans.
Technically $36 and $408, but let's not get picky.
Yeah, how much now? What went up?
36 and some change, and 408 and some change. I just threw it out there.
There you go. That's that credit card fee, I think.
Because wrestling fans will go, "Hey, they said it was only 400. It's 408. I'm not joining. Damn it! That guy was a liar. The guy that looked like Wild Bill from Heels, he lied to me. Wrestling fans. You got to be honest up front.
It happens.
Yep. And guys, if you guys want to check it out, get more information, or you want to join the CAC so you can come to the reunion in Vegas, you can simply go to the caulifloweralleyclub.org. That's caulifloweralleyclub.org. And on top of it being so cheap to go to, again, the $150, I believe, includes feeding you a couple of nights. It's for the roast. That is extra, but it's only $20. Only $20 to get into the roast. And as well as once you buy your tickets to go to this, you will receive a code that's going to give you a discounted stay at the hotel that the event is taking place at. My wife and I booked, and I think we only paid like the Plaza. Yep, only $300. It was like $350, I believe, for my wife and I.
More than I did.
So
I just
well, don't tell me that.
$55.
And look on the bright side.
Damn it.
Look on the bright side. If you do really good on wrestling on the fly, You don't have to show up at the arena 3 hours before the shows anymore and practice. Just go in the ring. Show up an hour before the show. That was our deal. 1 hour before the show, and that's it.
That's it. The real
And
cool
so
thing
everybody remembers. And so everybody remembers. Can you say again when the On the Fly event is, and from the time they should be there?
August 17th. You want to get there about 3:00 for the meeting. Hang out in the dressing room. Everybody get together. I believe we start at 6 or 7 p.m. It's one of those two. I got a flyer up on my page about it.
I believe it's free admission too.
Yes, it is free admission. And here's the cool thing. Fans, of course, we want you to attend, but you can join the Cauliflower Alley Club, and you can come to the banquets. During all 3 days, there will be an exhibit room. Everybody's going to be in there selling merch. And the cool thing is all proceeds go into a benevolent fund that helps wrestlers in need. And that's
Thank God, because I'm starting to get a headache right now. Where's Brian's number? I'm going to call Brian right now. Well, where's Darla? I got to talk to Darla.
That's it. I guess you need another chair shut in the head to kind of even out the headache.
No, I was not the smartest guy, but I put my hands up because I knew if I would have taken a real chair shot, I'd go home with the headache, I'd go home with the bump, I'd go home with the lumps, and the fans would still go home and go, that was a good show. I know it was all fake, though. So I'm going to make sure I protect myself.
Yeah, I never did. I never put my hands up.
Yeah, me neither. Now I'm paying for it.
That's it. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I even had one time I had the Barbarian thank me for not putting hands up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I took his chair shot. And it was a doozy.
I got my
you're a brave guy.
I got my love scar right here from Ivan Koloff.
I love the Barbarian. He's a great guy, but he'd just have to get over the fact that I hadn't put my hands up.
Yeah. Some people do, some people don't. That's
when he gave me the big boot, I didn't put my hands up. But a chair shot, that's different. Yeah. Especially 30, 40 years ago. Holy mackerel.
Oh, yeah, totally.
He'd be swinging it with a little more intensity.
He got less when he did it to me. He was more experienced, so I guess he did it right.
Yeah,
I didn't know there was a right way to hit yourself in the head with a chair.
But yeah, really,
and to make it,
yeah.
Go ahead, Kenan.
Well, I was gonna say, they don't. The money just doesn't go to help people that the big names. Okay, if you're an indie wrestler and you're a member and you need help. There's a member. His name is Rick Lieb from Rubber City Wrestling in Akron, Ohio. He had about I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. He had a heart attack.
I'm planning on that.
What's that?
I'm planning on that.
That's not a good plan.
Let me call Darla now. Cut out the middleman real quick.
Right. So yeah, his wife called Darla the next day. They had a check. And I heard two different amounts, but Rick said they sent him $10,000.
Holy mackerel!
Wow!
And helped pay all his bills. I remember another.
I am starting to get a little bit of chest pain. Right? Which arm? It's the left arm starts.
I remember another incident where Don Fargo needed help, and because he was being evicted out of his home because he had a lot of medical problems and he couldn't pay. They paid his rent for like 6 months. So,
wow. I'll be honest. Look, I'll be honest. I think that the CAC should open their arms to podcasters who cover professional wrestling, because I'm getting old myself and just saying.
Well, I would suggest that you pretend to manage somebody. Pretend to manage some people on some indie shows, and boom, you're in.
There you go. Be a manager. Yeah.
Why did KG suddenly turn into Ted DiBiase?
Yeah, right.
Right.
I suddenly need some money.
Yeah. Since I talked, I don't remember how long it's been since I've been on, but since I talked with you last time, I am now one of the TV commentators for Tampa Bay Pro Wrestling. So
I just talked to the owner of that guy, David, a couple days ago.
Dax. Yep.
Good guy.
He's actually participating in On the Fly this year.
Oh, wow. That's all. He's a good guy.
Yep. And last year, I had Royce Adams come out with me.
I took that guy in a battle royal, and I fake punched him a few times. I'll tell you that.
For those who don't know the name, Royce Adams is the son of Crush, Brian Adams.
Oh, yeah. He comes to our Legends Lunch once in a while.
Yep.
He was in last year. Yep. He was part of it last year. Matter of fact, he was picked. He was the first wrestler to be picked in the first match by Brian Blair.
For those of you who are unaware, the video of last year's is on the Cali for LA Club YouTube channel as we speak. And a matter of fact, I'm going to go watch it.
It's on my page too.
Oh,
that's what we need to do, KJ. We need to you need to watch it. I sent you the link. Watch it, and then one of these podcasts we can go over that.
Yep. As soon as I figure out how to add videos to this damn podcast.
First of all, the show doesn't start late. You don't know how to add videos. Who's running this shit? Where's Mark? Bring Mark back here. Mark, we haven't had those problems when Mark was here. By the way, I hope your sister gets better. Thank you.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, Mark.
Yes, you Mark. Too, KG. You
Kevin.
Too.
Yep, absolutely. And again, look to for those who are watching, to make it easier for you guys, I will put the CAC's email. I mean the address, the link to get to CAC once I publish this podcast. That way, you guys can just click on it and go to it. And
what? This isn't live.
Read up and join.
Yep,
it is live. It is live. But.
Oh, you got any questions? Are there any Facebook marks out there?
Probably none.
Yeah,
no.
I just noticed Kurt's still alive. I just noticed he's been so quiet.
I'm still alive and kicking, Bob.
Well, we didn't know you were so quiet.
No, because I keep hitting the mute. I keep hitting the mute button because my dog likes to bark in the background, even though I got the bedroom door closed. So I had to keep muting myself. I'm so sorry, guys.
The reason why Kurt's still alive is he keeps on hitting the refresh button. He keeps on refreshing his ass. So
whatever it takes.
Hey, I see right. Hey, I said, don't forget, I still got one leg in the grave. Don't forget.
You look like you're stuck your finger in an electric socket.
That's true.
Yeah. You like that spike? You like that spike?
He's got one leg in the grave because he buried it in his backyard.
My dog's still looking for it. That damn dog buried it somewhere.
Well,
can't find it.
Trying to get these out from under the refrigerator.
Let's
guys,
try to get.
Hey, Landry. Sorry to bug you real quick. I just want to let everybody know I really like this concept that he's doing for CAC, man. This is really good for the new talent. If you guys are listening, I sent out a bunch of links today for people to listen to this, and especially the kids that I mentor. This is a great opportunity for you to be seen.
It really is.
You know, I mean, you don't know who's going to be there. There's been years that Jim Ross has been there. There's been when the Briscoes were there. I mean, you just don't know who's going to be there. And then even talent that are with AEW that might have some influence in WWE are going to be there. And boom, you just never know. It's all about connecting and contacts and going out there, busting your ass and showing what you can do.
And what was cool last year, Dwayne Johnson mom was there and she picked the second match.
She's always
nice.
Yeah, it's cool. And just so everybody knows, okay, the hosts of this are Sin Bodhi and the Super Beast. They started it, and I was very honored that Sin asked me to help him do the recruiting and help him organize the talent. So this is our. You know what the best part?
You know what the absolute best part is? The legends are going to be taking a list and they're going to check it twice. And if you make the list, you're out of the business because you weren't good enough to be there. So we can get rid of some of these people. There's too many people in the business that don't know what they're doing.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So enter the show at your own risk, kid. Could be your last day on earth.
We did have one guy there that. Can you curse on here?
No fucking way.
Okay, so we had one guy that was sent to me by I'm not going to mention the agent's name, but he's an agent.
Uh-oh.
And he was sent. The guy told us he was trained by Johnny Rods.
Go ahead, say it. Harvey Weinstein.
Go to find out. He was only at one of his seminars, and this guy, he was in a tag team match, and I'm going to tell you, it was the drizzling shits.
Drizzling shits. Wow.
He was the drizzling shits. I mean, he was terrible.
I was involved in one of those the last 3 times I was in a tag match.
I don't doubt it. A lot of these guys shouldn't even be in the damn ring.
Exactly.
Me.
That's why like me and my partner, that's why me and my partner are very careful. We vet everybody we know personally who they're trained by, and we totally vet everybody. So anybody that I've mentored or anybody that I refer to anybody and anyone, I've always gotten a grade A from the promoters about the talent that I send them. Because like I said, we properly vet our guys that I deal with. And so if I recommend somebody, believe me.
We used to do that with rats back in the day, but we won't get into that right now.
Right. Well, you know what? Look, Bob, I got it.
But there was this incident in New Orleans.
What's up, Landry?
Hey, Kurt, I got to be honest with you. Any guy that comes and brags that he was trained by a one-legged wrestler, I'm going to have to question whether or not they're any good or not.
Is that Gowan's a pretty good worker? Is that Gowan's a pretty good worker?
Yeah. You're bad, Landry.
Plus, he was on TV.
Oh, man.
He was. All right, let's get this long recap going because we're going to be doing Raw and Night of Champions.
Zach Gowan was on AEW recently, but he doesn't brag about it. Strangely enough, I don't know why.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, just a quick trivia question real quick.
Sure.
Does anybody know? Do you know whose ear is the logo for the Cauliflower Alley Club?
Yes, Mike Magursky.
Well, I know you did. I was asking him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mike Mazurki.
Yeah,
I ruined it.
I had the honor of joining the Cauliflower Alley Club first in 1990 when he was still president. What a great guy.
Wow.
Yeah, great guy.
You're older than you look. Oh, wait a minute. No, you look pretty old.
I am pretty old. I'm probably older than you.
I don't know.
I was going to say, nobody's as old as Bob.
63.
Oh, you are older than me. Only by a year, though. So I'm not bragging about that either.
You can't tell because you dyed your hair.
What? Don't ever say that in public. I'll make my dogs bark. And I'm not turning them on. Because I ain't no pussy. I'll let them bark all night long.
I get mine going too.
All right, let's get to Monday Night Raw. We started Raw off last night with Rhea Ripley coming to the ring. She was interrupted by Io Sky, who came out and basically said, "I want to wrestle the best. You're the best."
That's not
so
what
now
I heard.
We have them. They're facing each other at the Evolution, the women's pay-per-view. Guys, is this a match you guys want to see again?
No.
Indeed.
Yes.
I'd rather have Ronda Rousey come back, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Who?
Ronda Rousey.
Exactly.
Shame.
You know what? Yeah, I can agree to that.
The reality is, if you didn't think Ronda Rousey was good, you have no true understanding of professional wrestling. And if you're sitting on this panel saying she wasn't any good, you need to get off it because it's a wrestling show and you're proving you don't know anything about wrestling. She was good. I lost my mic.
He's got a point.
It's pretty damn good, actually.
Just because Ronda didn't wrestle like all the other cookie cutter girls in the what do you call that thing? The revolving door of NXT and that. She did things different, but she was still good. You give her credit where credit's due, damn it. There wouldn't be UFC women if it wasn't for Ronda. So kiss ass if you don't like it. I'm sorry, I got carried away.
Look, I'll give Ronda Rousey this. I'll give Ronda Rousey this. No, absolutely not. So Ronda Rousey, she could go to ring. Beauty, Kurt. So Ronda Rousey, she could go in the ring. I'll give her that. But when it came to her cutting promos or her having to act at all, she was terrible. Terrible.
No.
That's where managers come in.
I agree.
I didn't have a
problem
with it. I didn't have a problem with it.
Well, I mean, look.
Don't make me
Ronda
go get
Rousey,
my Ronda Rousey T-shirt and put it on. Don't make me.
Listen,
I'll get mine
but in all fairness,
Ronda in-ring was better than her.
Ronda Rousey would come down to the ring. She's supposed to be a heel, and she couldn't help but to laugh like she's his baby face.
I mean, everybody's in a comfort zone. They're out of a comfort zone. You all just said
I agree.
what
I'm just
happened
saying
on
when it
Raw
comes to
last night.
kayfabe-
The opening match was this girl from Japan against Rhea Ripley, and you all want to watch the match, but the promo she cut was sucky. And it doesn't matter if she's from another country. The promo sucked.
I agree.
And you're cutting out.
I agree.
That's
I
it.
agree 100%.
I agree with the Cookster.
I'm coming to wrestle.
I
agree with
the Cookster.
That's it.
Io Sky absolutely needs someone to speak for her because she is absolutely terrible on the mic. And this is why I said that it's hindered her from being considered a good champion because of that fact.
Do you know how bad she was? She's so bad I actually want to listen to Gunther.
Oh, geez.
Oh, I think that was a shot at me.
Technically, it's a shot at Gunther. I don't know.
Kurt, all right, we gotta get one thing straight, Kurt. Just because you're dying doesn't mean the world revolves around you. Okay, not everything's a shot at you.
Gunther's the man.
All right, God.
Well, he better hope.
God damn.
When he's
Narcissist.
when he's laying in the coffin and it's not revolving around him, I expect to be disappointed in that.
Well, shit,
Hey, I take offense anytime somebody puts down Gunther, man. Gunther's the future of the WWE, I'm telling you.
That's a bad future.
He's the future of something.
So the future of WWE is going to have shows. The shows are going to be running high school gyms and half full.
Hey, he reminds me of old school. Whenever I see him in the ring and on the mic doing his promos, it takes me back to the old school days. It's not none of this other cool junk that they throw out there.
Yeah, and you know what? We will get to Gunther in a bit. Next, we go to backstage segment with Dirty Dom, and AJ Styles. Basically, Dom said, "You cannot touch me. I have this medical note. If you touch me, then you lose your future championship shot." That segment was what it was. Where you guys at with this? Is Dom truly hurt? Is this a legit injury? Because I've heard both. I've heard that it's
just an excuse for him to skip the gym more.
There you go. There it is.
Man. Indeed.
Next.
No.
What do you keep promoting that company where that website where you can get a job? I don't get it.
It's for EO Sky. Every time I eat EO Sky's on, I think of Indeed when they used to do that with what's his name? When Pritchard would be on it and go, Indeed. So I think of that every time I hear EO Sky do a promo, her or Saka. Whenever they do a promo, I hear, "You'll call me. I get you next show. I champion." That's all I hear. So I think of Indeed every time.
Where's Carlito when you need him?
All right, I'm sorry, guys.
Gee.
Next, finally, after about a half an hour, we finally have our first match, which is the World Tag Team Championship. Finn Balor and JD McDonough versus the New Day. I was quite surprised to see that Finn Balor and JD actually won. It was a good match, but I really thought that they were in the process of breaking up the Judgment Day, and it doesn't look like that this is going to happen.
I think it's just a power struggle.
Yeah, and I hope they keep these two together because I really think they mesh really good as a tag team, and they look like a tag team. And I don't know, they put on a heck of a match, man. Four of them just they just gelled so good, in my opinion.
Well, there's a reason for that, because JD learned everything from Finn Balor. So teacher and student are a good tag team, but I think that was a really good match. And putting two heel tag teams together, the crowd got behind the Judgment Day, so it worked out.
Yeah, yep, it did. After that match, we go to a backstage interview with Jackie Redmond. She is back there with somewhat of a frustrated Bailey because of Lyra Valkyria getting involved in the match the prior week. Those two end up getting into a major argument. Adam Pearce jumps in the middle of it and says, "You know what? Settle it in the ring." setting up for a match later on against Bailey and Lara. And I got to tell you, I really wasn't that interested, nor was I that excited for this match. What say you all?
I have to say that Lyra is growing on me. I don't know if it's the sexy outfits or just the sexy outfits, but it's probably the sexy outfit. Yeah.
I would think so.
Is it
is it Lyra that is it? Well, wait, is it Lyra that's growing on you, or are you growing because of Lyra? You know what I mean?
That is inappropriate. It's very inappropriate. Doesn't matter if it's true, but it's inappropriate.
Are you rising up for the occasion?
Do you think she looks in the mirror before she goes out and doesn't realize what she's doing?
She goes, "Yeah, I'm going to get Bob Cook a rise."
Yeah.
Bob, is it the wardrobe malfunction she keeps having on TV with her?
I'm just saying she looks sexy. What can I say?
Well, I tell you what, Bob.
But then again,
we're having issues.
I have a white dog here that would look sexy next to Bailey, so let's just not get crazy on this. But she did look sexy.
Here we go. Don't get Kurt started.
Hey, now. Don't get me started.
Don't get Kurt started.
Guy, hold on. So
Gunther would
Cook,
look sexy next to Bailey.
I don't know about that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, goodness.
Hey, Bob, but we had good news for Bob Cook, though. If Lyra was giving Bob Cook a rise and he was having issues with that, no need to worry, because we stayed backstage with Sheamus preparing for his match, and he was giving high fives to Tozawa, Maxine Dupree, and Natalia. I'm sure that Sheamus gave you a soft one.
In here, hopefully. I thought you were going to say the show sponsored by Viagra. I was going to say congratulations.
Man, I wish.
Can I get some samples? That's what I was going to say.
Use
one day soon.
Bob Cook 10. Use Bob Cook 10 for 10% off your first order.
Next, we go to the video package of Hall of Famer Goldberg.
Speaking of,
is anybody excited about this Goldberg thing?
Next.
I thought it was a great video package. I thought it was a great video.
Yeah, it was a really good video. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Cool.
Like I said on a post on Facebook, if you don't like what Goldberg's doing, that's fine. But he drew money, and that's more than anybody else can say who's complaining about it. Here or anywhere else.
That is true.
These indie wrestlers. I see all these indie wrestlers making comments like, "You guys couldn't sell a T-shirt in a phone booth if you were the only one with money." For God's sake.
He did sell. He did make money.
Yeah, they can't even sell 25 tickets around here.
Exactly. It's only one match. Who gives a crap?
I agree. Next,
let
we go to
let his son be there and get involved and turn on his dad. Crotch shot him. That's it.
That would be awesome, actually. Next, we go to a replay of Chad Gable confronted Penta backstage last week, with Penta kicking him down, and he hit the sacrifice. Then earlier today, Chad Gable was talking to American Made with his arm in a sling. Roger Madron Pierce walks up, which is Gable look at his upcoming surgery. Gable says he is a Olympian and makes his own luck. Pierce says he supposed they won't see El Grande Americano
for
quite a while. Right,
you said Olympian. That sounds something like Kurt. Olympian. He's only got one leg. Olympian. Get it? Olympian.
Yeah.
Get it? Yeah. I thought it was funny.
That was terrible.
He's Olympian around the house. He's Olympian around the house, but he don't have a gold medal to show for it, so don't brag about it.
You watch too much Henny Edmond when you're young.
I did
actually. So during this video, we see the Creed brothers also crying about, they don't know what they're going to do without Gable. And lurking in the shadows, we also see Ludwig Kaiser. Next, we have Rusev making his entrance for his upcoming match against Sheamus. We go to the video package of Big Bronson Reed, who's doing advertisements for Jurassic World Rebirth. I don't know why I have that written down in there. We have next we have a backstage segment with Roger and Adam Pearce. He's talking with SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis about the World Tag Team Champion Finn Balor and JD, who walks up on them, saying, "Hey, we have an idea about what to do for the women's tag team division." They suggested that Perez steps in to fulfill the shoes of your girl. I can never remember her name, who's out injured right now. Yeah, Liv. The general manager says that's great, but here's a match that you guys have to compete in. Setting up at Evolution, a 6-man tag team?
No, Fatal 4-Way for the women's tag belt.
That's it. Fatal 4-Way. Yep. Yep. What do you guys think about this? You see Perez and Rodriguez working out as a tag team.
No.
Not supposed to, but like they will. And this goes back to the tag team championship match with the men. It's the constant power struggle between Dom and Finn. And, throwing Roxanne in there to kind of mess it up for Dom with Liv. We're going to see if it works. And that's where it's going to, I think Evolution is where it blows up if Liv comes back, even if she doesn't wrestle.
So you think this is going to lead to the dismantle of Judgment Day?
Yeah, some form of it. I don't think it's going to completely blow up, but it's going to lead to some form of it happening, and I think that's what they want to do. They don't want to split them up completely, but somebody's not going to be in the group. They're going to be the true revolving door, like the Bloodline, like Solo's Bloodline.
Right.
I agree with you on that.
Next, we actually go to the match: Rusev versus Sheamus. Pretty good match. We seen once again Rusev take the win. It was announced, or it was brought up, that Sheamus has never beat Rusev in a one-on-one match, which is something I did not know.
Hey guys,
yeah.
Look, this was a really good match, and I was really disappointed that the fans weren't into it, just because it was a good big man versus big man match. They both work very solid. That's why I like watching these two work, because when they work together, they work snug. They're not one of these where they just throw anything and it looks sloppy. Everything looks stiff. I love watching these two work, and I was expecting more of a reaction from the fans. Me and my nephew were sitting here watching it, marking out over it, because it was such a good match between two big guys, and I don't think it got the pop that it should have. Or the fans realized how good of a match they had in front of them. That's just my opinion.
Kurt, I can agree with you. Kurt, I can agree with you. It was a good match. The problem is, and I don't know why, there's a disconnect between Sheamus and the crowd and between Rusev as the crowd. And that disconnect has been there for a while. And it's not just in WWE, because when Rusev went to AEW, the crowd was invested in him for 30 seconds, and after that, nothing. I don't know what's that disconnect. That's a good question for you, Bob.
They belong to the Ho-Hum Club.
Ho-Hum.
Yeah, so they've been there long enough, Bob, no one cares.
Hey, Bob, let me ask you this though, Bob. So let me ask your honest opinion about this. Both of us being veterans of this business, and as much as we know, right? I don't know, but listen, hear me out on this one, okay? Rusev, I think the disconnect is he doesn't have Lana by his side like he did originally when he got over, because that helped get him over, and he came back, and I think they were expecting him to come back huge like he did his first run, and it just didn't happen. And I think it's because he doesn't have a mouthpiece, or he doesn't have a side piece to distract to help build his hype again, like he did. You said, I mean, you don't get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, you said mouthpiece, and I instantly thought of Lana. It's weird.
Speaking of mouthpiece,
you know what? I disagree with you. I disagree with you, Kurt, because I think Rusev does fine when he's cutting his promos. The fans just aren't into him for whatever reason. And Bob, you said that because they belong to the the boring club, basically. And K-Don, this is also a question for you. Is there anything that either one of these gentlemen could do to kind of save their career as far as the here and now and get the fans invested into them again?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, very good question, because Rusev is pretty boring. He needs to change a lot of things.
Could you imagine?
Would be smart.
Could you imagine Gunther, Rusev, and Sheamus as like some kind of faction? Holy crap! You wouldn't have to have sleeping pills. You could get rid of sleeping pills forever.
You call them shooters.
Well, that'd be
you call the three of them the shooters.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
Bob,
because people would be killing themselves.
They already tried that before Gunther came along. It was called the League of Nations.
Oh,
it's a shame WWE.
That's true. I remember that.
That
was that kid?
Even though I like,
wasn't that movie with Sean Connery?
Hold up, guys.
Hey,
K-Don, what was that?
You guys think?
Kurt, hold on a second. Go ahead, K-Don.
The WWE should definitely use managers again, because when back in the day when managers were popular, that's why they had managers, for people that couldn't talk, that didn't have the vocal abilities to do a promo.
Are you trying to insinuate right here live on this podcast that superstar Billy Graham couldn't talk, so they gave him the Grand Wizard? Unbelievable.
Graham definitely did not need a manager to talk for him. He was phenomenal, but there's a lot of guys that they need a manager. Rusev is one of them. Gunther's one of them.
Okay, I'll do it. You don't have to beg.
Now, do you guys think?
Jimmy Hart thinks they should go back to it.
Vape in my truck.
Do you guys think that Rusev should maybe do a comedy gimmick now to save anything that he might have left? No,
not at all.
Yes. I think he should go on the road.
No Santino Morello kind of thing.
Yeah, he should go on the road and do stand up and get the hell off the wrestling show.
Well, stand up, that would be
No, to kind of piggyback what you said, Kurt, it's like, I'm not gonna say they were expecting Lana, but it's like they want the Rusev Day thing back. They want the nostalgia back. They didn't want the AEW Rusev when he came back. It's like, if you're gonna change the name, bring back the old Rusev. You know what I'm saying?
What a perfect time to bring Lana back. They got this women's show coming up. Bring her back. If not, come over here and hang out with me. My wife won't mind.
Hey, you guys seen this?
She's at work. She's at work. She won't mind.
They brought Cena's ex back, so why not bring back Rusev?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to come back right now. And I disagree.
Yeah, she's making too much money on OnlyFans.
I think, I prefer Rusev doing what he's doing now, which is the same thing he was doing at AEW. I prefer a serious Rusev that's very destructive. The whole Rusev Day thing, look, if that would have been allowed to take off, that would have lasted all of 10 seconds before the fickle fans of professional wrestling would have been at that point started booing.
I think a lot of Rusev's problems is that fans lost respect for the man when his beautiful wife was his wife and he was involved in that stupid storyline with Bobby Lashley, and people said, Rusev, how much money is money? Do you really need it that bad? Stand up for yourself. Stand up for your wife. Say no. But he went ahead and went with it, and everybody said, I got no respect for a man like that. Now send Lana to me and I'll talk to her about it. If she needs a shoulder to cry on, I'm here for it.
Yeah, he officially turned into John Morrison on that. Like the same thing. Remember back with Batista and Melina, and it was like, even if they weren't actually dating, but it's like you let your manager do that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's like, then the rumors started. It's like, oh god, man, it's like, dude, don't let your girl do this. We got Edge and Lita and Matt Hardy, all this stuff from back in the day, and the current wrestlers just let it happen, so they don't have to fight anybody.
Those angles never work out right, Chris Benoit.
Oh, jeez.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
History keeps going.
Next we go to another backstage interview where we actually seen the return of Vince McMahon. You guys didn't realize this, but Jackie Redmond, Redmond, she was backstage with American Made. She asked them how do they plan to move forward without their leader? All of a sudden, El Grande Americano, a.k.a. Vince McMahon, showed up. Guys didn't know that.
Well, let's
Vince
talk
McMahon.
about Jackie. Let's talk about Jackie Redmond. She's quite the looker.
Oh my God, Kevin.
She's quite the looker, according to the cooker. She's quite the looker.
Jackie Redmond's always been a looker. Yeah, no, I love what they're doing with Grande. It gives it another layer. After you thought it was getting old and stale, they do something different to throw the comedy to another level.
Let's talk about what they do with El Grande, because we all know, in all seriousness, that it was Ludwig Kaiser dressed up as Americano, El Grande Americano. Why? What is this going to lead to?
I hate Ludwig Kaiser, whatever his name is, Kaiser. I hate that guy. His girlfriend
but you hate him because his girlfriend.
Yeah, I know. At least I'm honest.
After that, Redmond catches up with Sami Zayn backstage. Before she can ask the question, Karrion Kross attacks him. Kross grabs a lead pipe and tells Zayn to say it before smashing him in the ribs. WWE officials and referee run out to pull Kross away. Scarlett looks pleased. Zayn is in pain. I am glad they're going to continue. I am glad they're going to continue this storyline between the two.
Agreed.
And we're going to talk about their match at Night of Champions. But this was a good match that they had then. So again, I'm glad that this is continuing. Any comments or feedback about that?
No, I was actually happy because I was like, it was predictable. Karrion just came out of nowhere, but still, it was predictable. I was like, yeah, they're gonna get. Yeah, it was one of those where it's like, I hope they do, and then he did it. It's like, I'm good with that. So give Sammy something else to do besides chase up Rollins.
Yep. After this, we just go to the commentaries running down the Evolution card. And then they show, for whatever reason, the Pittsburgh Steelers at ringside. Next, we have Bob's favorite guy in the company, World Heavyweight Champion Gunther, addresses Goldberg. It was your typical Gunther rant. I think that his promo was better last week. What say you, Gerald?
I agree. The promo last week had a lot more fire. This week it was just run of the mill, screw Goldberg, which every promo can't be great, but in Bob's words, if it's boring. And I do like Gunther, but it's like the promos is like, I don't know what it is about him as World Heavyweight Champion. It's like, it's so toned down compared to how he was as Intercontinental Champion. And it's easy to pick at Goldberg, but it's like they're rehashing the same stuff. Talking about his son, about him, and I'll be honest, I know we haven't gotten to the end, but it's like Raw, I really enjoyed watching it last night. I didn't have a problem with a lot of stuff, but it's like that promo wasn't the worst, but it was probably pretty close.
Well, never fear.
Before everything else.
Never fear, because if Bob didn't have enough of Gunther, this next guy comes out, we hear, burn it down. Seth Rollins comes out, who says, look, I didn't actually fly across the world to cash in my Money in the Bank briefcase. I did it because I told you that CM Punk will not win a championship in this company. Then we hear CM Punk's music comes in, turns into a fight between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Seth Rollins takes off, goes to the stands. Oh, lo and behold, behind him, LA Knight. That turns into something which led to the announcement that we are going to see LA Knight and Seth Rollins at Saturday night main event, right?
Yep.
What do you guys think about Bob? What did you think about this?
I'm mourning the loss of Kurt. He's gone.
I was about to mention that.
But all of a sudden, I'm over it, and I'm thinking of Lana's mouthpiece again. Holy crap. It's amazing how you can just turn the corner like that.
Here he comes now.
Undertaker gone. He's back.
Hey, I've been back listening this whole time.
I raised him up from the dead. Call me Jesus Christ.
I am finally a believer. Oh, believer.
KG, where'd you get the urn from? How'd you get him to come back?
Here, guys. Hey, Bob, hold on. Bob, I didn't do it right.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Landry, bring me back. You ready?
No.
He's back.
You know what, Bob? You know what's scary about that? One day he's gonna do that. He's not gonna sit up.
That's true.
All right, guys, wait, you ready?
Well, that's the sad part. We're preparing for it now, and when it happens, we won't care.
Hey, I'm waiting for the reunion. That's where I want to die at.
Uh-oh. Well,
I'll be honest with you. I'm planning. What I want to happen is that once your day comes, Kurt, we're going to have you on the podcast for at least 2 weeks straight after you passed. So you're just going to be there.
Well,
Hey, my wife said that after I pass, for the first 2 weeks after I pass, she is willing to log online for the podcast and just have, since I won't be there, just my leg. How about that? You hear my wife in the background? She goes, "What?"
I heard that. Kind of heard a female voice. Which leg?
All right.
Hopefully the real leg, not the prosthetic. What's the prosthetic? Who wants to see that?
It's the one that's not stuck in the 1 foot in the ground.
Hey, KG,
All right.
You know when it's gonna happen? You're finally the podcast is gonna be big enough. We're gonna be on a live broadcast, and Kurt's gonna be up there with us, and he's gonna fall off the stage. And that's a wrap.
Well, the title of Roddy Piper's book was "If You're Gonna Die, Kid, Do It in a Ring. It's Good for Business."
Nope.
Yes.
And several did.
Nope.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That was always my goal.
Moondog Spot died in the ring, and I think it killed the business.
Yes, he did. I was just thinking that. Yep, in Memphis.
Yep, Battle Royal at the Mid-South Coliseum. What a great place to go, though. That place was awesome.
And it wasn't soon before that. They were chasing me around the ring with snow shovels in Nashville.
Shovels? Wait a minute now.
Yep, they had snow shovels.
Hey, don't say shovels around Kurt.
He gets edgy. Hey, it's not time yet.
I'll help you.
It's not time to go home yet. Take it home.
Right?
Take it home.
Yeah, Kurt's gonna give the new meaning to the word "take it home" in the wrestling business.
Literally.
From now on, we're gonna call it "take it." From now on, we're gonna call it "take it, Kurt." The referee will come over. Take it, Kurt, boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that to some guys. They're gonna be like, "What are you talking about?"
I actually, from now on, instead of saying, the crowd was dead tonight, we're just still saying the crowd was Kurt tonight.
Landry, next time you announce me on here, don't say, don't talk about my credentials. Just say the dead man, JT Storm. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, until the Undertaker knocks on my door and whips my ass. Fuck you.
Or we'll just call you the Dead Man Rising. The Dead Man Rising until he's not.
Oh man,
I like that one. There you go. I like Bob's idea.
Next, we go backstage. We go backstage again to the Judgment Day, where they basically are taking a vote whether or not to allow Rodriguez into Judgment Day. She was voted in, Perez. I'm sorry, right? Yeah, Perez. She was let in. Of course, Rodriguez was a little hesitant, worried about what Liv was going to take. So was Dom, but nonetheless, they voted her in. Next, we go to Bailey making her way.
This show's not over yet? What the hell's going on?
Oh, hey, wait.
Bob's on a timer.
Yeah.
No, Kurt's on the timer, not
I'm waiting
Bob.
for that heart attack. I need to call CAC.
They did announce during the show. I don't know when, but I'll go ahead and say it. They're moving SmackDown back to 2 hours. The jump for joy I had after they said that. I was like, thank God. It was hard, dude. Like miserable watching that show for 3 hours. I'm like, the better show of the two is added an hour, and I'm like, why?
Yes.
So
agree.
But now on Friday nights when it's over at 10, you're gonna go, oh, now what am I gonna watch? I gotta think of something. Why there's not to watch? You can't win with these people.
Next, we go to the number one contenders match: Bailey versus Lyra. Man, the match ends in a double pin, which means it's a draw. Of course, you hear Michael Cole say, "Oh well, let's make Becky happy because she doesn't have to face anyone." We all know that at Evolution, it's going to lead to a three-way match for the title. This is my question, though: do you guys see either Bailey or Lyra turning heel?
I had to think about it. I said no.
Bailey's like a heel. She's a babyface. She's a heel. She's a babyface. Just put her in catering. We'll be fine.
I think they just need to let Bailey run. Like they don't need to make her either one.
Right. I agree.
Yes, Bailey needs to run.
Next,
Bob, she does run. You gotta watch her Instagram.
Oh, really? What, she works out?
Yeah, she does.
Let me check that out.
I'm just waiting for Bailey to open up an OnlyFans. That's all.
Well, she still works for
WWE. Not to hurt your feelings, but I watched Ronda Rousey work out, and she puts Bailey to shame. I'll guarantee it.
Yes.
Have you seen Ronda's workouts? Oh, holy mackerel.
We continue once again. Still another backstage segment with an irate CM Punk being talked to by Jackie Redmond. It ultimately leads to Punk going over to LA Knight and says that he knows he has issues with Rollins, but this needs to he's getting back to line. Knight says his match against Rollins was just announced for Saturday night's main event, so he is the line. Do you think this is going to lead into something between LA Knight and CM Punk, guys?
I hope so.
I bet Seth Rollins and CM Punk are friends in real life.
No comment.
Hey, did you just pull a fourth wall or pull a curtain back or something, man? What are you doing?
Yeah, I met CM Punk a couple years ago at California Alley Club. He was really cool. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, I heard he's a really good guy, despite what everybody thinks.
Yeah, he was. He hung around, let people take pictures and everything. He didn't have to do that.
Nope. Yeah, he's a good dude.
My only interaction with CM Punk.
And if you go online, he gave an amazing speech. Amazing speech. It was like almost an hour long. Talked about Terry Funk, Harley Race, all the legends that matter. Unfortunately, Gunther wasn't included, but he talked about Terry Funk and Harley Race.
Yeah, if that's the thing to talk about. I think it was still at NXT UK.
We continue backstage with Sami Zayn and Medical being treated. They're trying to talk him from going through the match. He said he's going to do the match anyway, which leads us to the tag team main event: Sami Zayn and Penta versus Brian Breaker and Big Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. What do you guys think about this match?
I like it.
I think Bronson Reed is an enormously fat man.
Yeah.
He can move for a fat guy, though.
Yeah,
I mean, he can.
Well, that's because they went out. That's because before he goes out, they always say, envision a donut in front of you, but you just can't catch it.
Was he a cop too?
Hey George.
Yeah.
I wish he was a cop. We wouldn't have to see him except on those body cam things.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of the man. I can't help it.
I can't help, Bob.
The winner of this match,
or whatever his name is on SmackDown, the little guy with the little fat guy.
Bronson Reed and Brian Breaker. Bronson Reed, Brian Breaker won the match. There's the tag after with main event. Jey Uso's music hit in. Him coming for the save, ending Raw last night. I give Raw last night. I give it a B minus.
I hate entrance music for run-ins. It's so contrived, like it's all planned or something. I don't know.
Yeah. For run-ins, it's stupid. I never liked
like
it either.
if he comes running in, people are still going to go, "Hey, I don't know about you, but that's Jey Uso." Ooh. You know, I mean, I got to know who it is. You don't need that music.
No.
Yeah.
Well, what was the worst was when he came out, he had the chair in his hand, and he didn't seem like he was in a rush to get to the ring. He stood there for a second so fans kind of let it soak in. But it was no worse than the Hardy Boy who came out to save his brother and was dancing.
Yeah, I remember that.
Jeff Hardy that was a classic.
Right?
I think they should roll Rikishi out.
They would probably have to roll him out. Have you seen him?
Him and Bubba Ray should get together and just bitch about everything. It'd be hilarious.
Yes. Indeed.
Let's do a quick recap. Let's do a quick recap of Night of Champions. I know K9 was able to watch that. K9, what did you think about? I'm not talking to you, dead man. What did you think about that? K9, what you think about the PLE?
That's a video game.
About who?
What you think about that? The PLE,
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions.
Night of Champions. There was some phenomenal matches in that.
Yep, I agree.
Really, really good matches, and one crappy one that I saw.
Yes. Well, the first match they opened up with Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton.
Phenomenal.
Yes, and I was really hoping that Randy was going to win it. I figured Cody was going to win it though. Guys' thoughts about
the offense going.
Yes. Yep. Now, what I found interesting was after the match when Cody Rhodes grabbed the mic and he was cutting a promo, you seen Randy Orton kind of, lagging behind. Very much, I think, very much hinting that we're about to see a heel turn with Randy Orton. You guys agree?
Nah.
No.
Happens too often. Heel, babyface, heel, babyface. Pick a
Oh,
lane and stay in it.
I like
Randy flip flop a lot.
I think Randy makes a great heel, but
he
like
does.
Bob said, there's too much back and forth on that. Way too much.
Yeah.
You never saw that back in the 70s, even the early 80s.
But it wasn't a good match.
No. And I agree with you.
One of the greatest wrestlers of all time, Jerry the King Lawler, turned heel, babyface.
Yep.
But he's one of the greatest of all time. We cannot discount that.
Yeah, but Jerry the King was the exception to the rule because I think back in the 80s, whenever I was growing up watching wrestling, I think what made it such a special big event when someone turned to either a baby or a heel was because of the fact that you didn't see it that often. So when it happened, it was actually a big thing.
Right. Now you kind of expect it.
Right.
It's like championships. Back in the 70s, 60s, I mean, they very rarely changed hands. Now it's like every week they're changing. Too much.
Look how long and it's too many belts at that, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, look how Roman held the belt for a long time, and that was great stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, that was
Although
great.
the fans bitched about it. When's he going to lose it? Blah, blah, blah. Shut up!
Yeah.
Enjoy the show.
Wrestling was better before the internet.
Well, I would say everything was. I would say everything was better for the internet, but that's not true.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, wrestling fans are definitely not the best part of the internet.
Everything's not better before the internet because right now I could hang up with you and Uber a chocolate fudge sundae from McDonald's right now. Uber Eats. The internet rules. Remember that.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, not that I look, but free porn, internet, wonderful thing. If that's what you're into.
Not that I look.
I'm waiting to see how everybody gets around when it crashes.
That's the way to look. If it crashes, that means the nukes are coming and we won't care.
Right. We won't know.
I still know how to read a map.
Let's talk about Asuka versus Jade Cargill.
I liked it.
See, I disagree. I think the match is okay. The Oscar versus Jay Cargill.
That's the one I was referring to when I said
yes.
Do you guys realize who
agree.
you're talking to? You realize who you're talking to? Superficial Bob. Jay Cargill cannot do wrong.
No, she did wrong because that finish was terrible. Absolutely terrible. That was a terrible pin.
Those abs are so right, she could never do wrong. Stop it. Bite your tongues.
Now, the other question is
that outfit she had on. Holy macaronis.
Yeah.
The other question, the question I have is, did they make the right decision by Jade winning instead of Asuka?
Yes, because we don't need a rodeo clown beating Jade Cargill. Especially when you wear an outfit like that. You know, the Saudis are onto something when they say, hey, you got a beautiful body. Make it skin tight, baby. Oh, my God, no. Yes, my God, yes. It's fantastic.
You know what that
Joe Helms.
That reminded me of a tightrope walker.
Yeah, I don't know. It had something to do with some kind of superhero or cartoon. I don't know, but I liked it.
She was Storm from the X-Men.
Let me reframe that. Let me rephrase that. I loved it.
Yeah.
I am not a Jay Cargill fan.
Shameful.
I don't think she's a great wrestler.
You cannot jump on the bandwagon. You have to give people chances. This isn't like in the 1970s. This isn't like in the 1980s. This isn't like in the 1990s where we work 7 nights a week with different people all across the territory where you learn night after night. She doesn't have that opportunity. Give her a chance. Give her a chance. I love Jade Cargill. I'm blown up. Give me
amen.
Wait. No. Hold on. How many chances are we supposed to give her? Because how many years has she been wrestling?
Not that long, really, in grand scheme of things.
Yeah. In wrestling years, she hasn't been around that long.
Yeah.
She's been wrestling.
But I know what you're saying, KG, but think about it. She just took a
wait, but hold on.
Supposedly...
Okay, well, cool. But you know what? She's been wrestling long enough that the very basic move, like pinning someone, should be something she knows how to do. And she sucked last at the PLE.
Yeah, she did.
She did the pin she normally does on her finish. So, yes, I agree. She did not sit down though like she's supposed to. So Oscar
when
really
you're standing in line 5 years from now to see a movie because Jade Cargill is the biggest Hollywood star on the planet, and you're there to see that movie because of her, because of the fame she created in the WWE, you apologize to me right now.
and Bob, I got to correct you.
Right on.
She did not make just one mistake. She went to put a boot in Oscar's face, and she missed by this much.
She didn't want to smear the clown makeup. That's called respect.
Yep.
Called respect.
Come on, Rhea Ripley. Hey, Rhea Ripley did it the other day with a punch.
Wait, Kurt, hold on. Bob,
don't make me get my wife's Bible and start reading passages.
If that would have been someone throwing a punch and missed by that much, you would have had a heyday with their asses.
Not
right, like Rhea Ripley did.
No, wait a minute. If it was Jade Cargill, I wouldn't mind having a heyday. I wouldn't mind having a heyday with her ass. Oh, wait a minute. You're making me look bad.
This is a serious question. Hey, Bob, we all have our nights off sometimes, right?
Look, don't make me get out the Bible.
We've all had our nights off sometimes.
Look, right. Don't make me get out the Bible and start reading.
Oh, God.
What the hell is this?
We're about to get canceled.
Oh. You're okay because I know nothing about here. There's the Bible. There's the Bible. I know nothing about it.
Hey, at least we know he's not with Scientology because he's got a Bible and not just science fiction.
We're still gonna get canceled. It doesn't matter. We're still getting canceled.
It says right here, Holy Bible. To which I say, holy shit! It's a lot of reading. I can't do it.
Now the big one of the big surprises. I agree. One of the biggest surprises at the Night of Champions PLE was Jacob Fatu losing to Solo Sikoa, which I hated. And let me tell you why I hated it. I can understand them wanting I can understand them wanting to protect both Solo and Jacob because I predicted a long time ago that Solo was going to be the first person to actually defeat Jacob Fatu, but they should have did this with some type of a disqualification because what they did was made their main monster, right? The undefeated guy, their main monster, they made him a transitional champion. And to me, that was stupid.
But he didn't lose clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still.
The odds were against him.
So he won the belt at WrestleMania, which is the biggest stage for WWE. Then he loses because a whole gang of people beat him up. So I don't see where it made him look bad or anything. I mean, it makes him look stronger by himself.
George, I feel like they're going backwards now because now they're going to have him feud with Haku's son, and that's going backwards. It's not moving forward because now he's out of a title picture. Now he's going to be starting a feud with somebody that's not even in a title picture that just started. So, I mean, it just makes no sense to me. I thought maybe they were setting him up.
Don't be saying nothing about Haku's son. I like Haku. He's a nice man. He's a very nice man. Don't make him not a nice man.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's a very nice man.
He comes to our Legends lunches. Al knows he was there.
Haku's a good guy.
Yes, he is. I agree.
You just don't want to piss him off.
But I just feel like I just feel with Jacob Fatu though, by him losing the strap to Solo, now he's going to be, because of the whole, Haku son thing going on. Now they're going to move him backwards because now he's going to be feuding with him. So now he's not in the title picture anymore.
Do you know what Jacob Fatu said when he lost the belt? Thank God I don't got to lug that thing around anymore.
So look at it this way, man. Hold on. Look at it this way. So you're going to have the guy who's more popular than the group fight the group. They have a new member that they want to showcase. Why not put him with the most popular person right now? Because they were scared that Jacob was going to outshine Solo. Jacob has outshined Solo by like many moons. So it's like, is he really going backwards, or are they really trying to make the new person look good?
I think Jacob's going to be world champion before it's over.
Me too.
But that's my real question. It's not really going backwards if you're making a new person mean something. That's just my opinion. I'm just saying.
But he could still have held the strap and have that feud. It could have been a screw finish. It could have been a screw finish, right? And then that starts a feud with him. And if they want to showcase him, then they put him in the title picture with Fatu. There you go.
So who does he lose the belt to if he doesn't lose the Solo? Jeff Cobb?
No, down the road he can eventually lose it to Haku's son. That's what I'm saying. If he would have kept the strap on him, right? He's the main guy. Forget about Solo. You keep the strap on Jacob. You have the screw finish, right, where Solo goes over, but he doesn't get the strap. Ticks off Fatu. Fatu goes after Haku, and there's a title picture right there. There's a new program for a title.
Yeah, I see what you're cooking there, but I think, and of any of Haku's son, I think Tama would be the first one to get a belt because I think they like him the most. And it's a wait and see with the younger brother. But I don't know,
I'm
man.
not a fan of any of them.
And that's what I'm saying. WWE hasn't really sold me on the Time Guns being like a major deal, even though Gorillas were multi-time champions.
Hang on a second. I got to call in. Yeah, is Triple H there? Yeah, these guys are ragging on your bookie. No, I don't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what their names are. You wouldn't recognize them anyways. One guy's only got one leg, though. One guy's got one leg and he's going to die in a year. Why do we care what he thinks? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, all right. I'll talk to you later. Triple H doesn't care.
No, he doesn't.
But
the call is making more fun of it other way.
Well, here's a question for you guys, though. When Haku's son made his debut at Night of Champions, was it just me, or he didn't get this pop because you guy making his way to WWE that you would think someone like him would get? It seemed like the crowd was either lost or they didn't know who he was.
They didn't.
Both. He's rumored to have been signed with, and I'll say rumored, but he's been signed with WWE for months, and he's just making his debut. They just had to make the right time, but it's like he's not as popular as his brother. Like when you pop when Tama Tonga pops up, you pop when Camacho comes back.
Plus, they were in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was getting to next.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting to next. Do you think that they made his debut at the wrong time? They should have waited till they were in the States here because more people would have recognized him.
100%.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Because I know they have plenty in the States, but it's like they're never here anymore. So it's like they do it now, but now it's wasted because you got a crowd that didn't know who he was.
But I will say this about that crowd. I'm surprised. I didn't realize the Saudi Arabians got into wrestling as much as they did. I mean, they were popping.
It was a hot
they're
crowd.
always a great crowd.
It was a great
Absolutely.
crowd. I mean,
Yeah, it was an awesome crowd.
Yep.
But you know what, though?
They go over there.
But at the same time, anytime any wrestling promotion, regardless of AEW or WWE, go overseas somewheres, the crowd is always so hot there. And it's because they're not exposed to it live like we are used to it here in the States.
Right.
So you usually have a really good crowd like that overseas.
And obviously, with the time difference, most of them have to stay up late to watch the shows we're watching, just like we do for theirs.
Yep.
Right. Yep. Absolutely. Next, we go to Rhea Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez on a street fight. Decent match.
I liked it.
Yep, I did too.
I thought it was a great match myself.
That was an awesome.
For what it
was.
was, best Rodriguez match she's ever had.
I agree. Absolutely. I think that if there was a match that made Raquel Rodriguez, it would have been that match. She looked really good. Rhea Ripley was the winner. Next, Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. Now, this match also surprised me a little bit because although Karrion Kross loses more than he wins, it's Sami Zayn. I really thought that Karrion Kross was going to go over. Instead, we had Sami Zayn go over. It was a good match, though. I really enjoyed this match as well.
It was okay.
Good match, but enough of Sami Zayn.
Scarlett looked good. That's what I remember.
Yes, I remember that too.
I like the finish of the match. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I saw the whole match because unfortunately I had a show Friday night, and apparently during that match was when I fell asleep. I woke up for the end though, and I did like the end. So I
guess it wasn't that good of a match.
I had to pull a page out of Bob's book. I didn't see it. No.
That sums up Karrion Kross in a nutshell.
That sums up that match. Yep, totally.
No, it wasn't.
Next,
but after I saw it, it was.
All right. Next, we go to John Cena. Go ahead.
Before you do that, I'd like to say one thing about women's wrestling. Now, the Rhea Ripley match was phenomenal, but unfortunately, what I see most of the women these days, they can't throw a punch.
Wow.
Everything looks a little on the lame side.
Thank you.
It's a big issue with me. It's like
Al, the key is to look at their ass, not their punches.
Well,
especially when you're in Saudi Arabia, those outfits, even Rhea, that black leather. I don't know what the hell she was wearing, but it looked damn good. Go ahead and
yes, it did. I agree.
Anything looks better than the Bob's.
Yeah. So, kid, I think the thing that throws me off with women's wrestling is they move so much slower. It seems, and it's distracting. Because it looked like they have to think about what they are supposed to do next. You know, they have to think about throwing a punch or the kick. It's just so slow.
But it wasn't like that before the mid-'90s. Women's wrestling was a whole lot different, a whole lot faster, and a whole lot
better. Did you ever see the matches with the jumping bomb angels? And,
oh my God!
And the Glamour Girls, Leilani Kai and Judy Martin. Whoa, boy!
Oh yeah.
Yes.
They were all. Leilani Kai is an awesome wrestler.
Yeah, my big sister Malia Osaka, she was always good.
Oh, I love Malia.
I've been trying to get Lonnie Kai. I've been trying to get Lonnie on this podcast. She ignores me though. My feelings.
She's a good friend of mine. I could pull it off after that comment about what'd you comment about? Oh,
I used to work.
I'm gonna have to pull the plug.
No, I love Jay Cargill. Jade is my number one.
Huh?
No, I'm picking with Bob.
Let me get a hold of Leilani right
now. Even Glow, the women on Glow, they were even much faster. You move faster what the women do now.
So what happens? I think there's a disconnect, like in a lot of and I know a few women's wrestlers now that are like really good as far as like throwing the punches and all of that, but it's like some of them get to train and wrestle with guys like because they don't have anybody else that's on their level, and then you get the girls that are learning they're good, but everybody's cautious. Like you said, it's slowed down, and they're like you said, they're always thinking about it. It's like, man, just lay it in. There's so many women that the wrestlers train them like. Just lay it in. Don't be worried about, pulling back and all of that. And I think they watch too much of what men are doing right now. Some of them are trying to do those moves and stuff, and they forget to
let me throw this. Hey, let me throw this out there. Let me throw this out there to all you guys, and let me get your opinion on this. Do you think it could also possibly be some of these guys don't know how to call matches in a ring if they do get lost? Because as Bob and you guys can attest to, if you don't know how to call a match and you get lost in there, that's going to happen. The stuff you're talking about, and I think that's a lot of thing too. Is that you're not? That's a lost art. Charlie Bolton taught us how to call a match. To be able, in case you get in there and somebody you work with a vet, and he goes, "Let's see what you got, kid," and expects you to call the match. You better know what you're doing, or you're gonna get put in your place really quick.
Well, back in the day, it didn't work that way. It was literally on the fly. You did not go over matches before.
Right. Exactly.
My opinion,
and that's a lost art.
My opinion, when you're women's wrestlers that are training, they need to show them some reels of women's wrestling back in the day to show them how they did it. People like Sherry Martel, like Andy Devine.
Yep.
And it's funny you mentioned Glow. Because the reason I got into the wrestling business myself is a good friend of mine who was a Glow wrestler got me in the business. Dallas from Glow.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I just had Hollywood on. I also just had Sonny on.
Yep.
I know. I had the Raw Riot on. Man, they're all really, really great. So what do you guys think is the disconnect that happened then with women in professional wrestling as far as them not moving the way they used to move back in the early days?
A lot of it could be the agents. You don't have the right agents. I mean, it could be that. They're not putting the matches together right.
In that brief time where everybody wanted divas.
The true disconnect are the fans watching and trying to analyze it more than they should. Just watch the damn match.
Yeah. And for quite a few years, you really didn't see much women's wrestling at all. Went to the ground for a while, and then when it came back, it was a whole different thing.
Correct.
Yeah, brawn panties matches.
That's what I'm saying. The Divas era killed wrestling for women at some point.
I think, to give an example, I think Stacy Keibler and Tori are absolutely gorgeous, but when they had that match in WCW, it sucked.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It totally sucked.
Yep, I agree.
Where can we see that on Peacock Network?
Probably Peacock, WWE channel.
Should be on YouTube and Peacock, Bob.
That part of it is the best.
I know what I'll be doing Friday night after SmackDown ends after 2 hours.
Let's move on to the main event: John Cena versus CM Punk. I actually really liked this match. I thought it was a really good match. I actually loved when Seth Rollins came in and the rest of that group came in. You seen CM Punk and John Cena on the same page, fighting these guys at first. And when John Cena and CM Punk shook hands and hugged, I tell you, when John Cena made that face, he went from being John Cena to looking like JBL, because he looks just like JBL with that face he makes. Man, I tell you, that was great. That was great ring psychology.
Was great.
You were able to see John Cena basically kind of become a babyface again, and watch his transformation of his face back to being that piece of crap heel. I loved it.
Right.
I thought it was great.
Me too.
What say you guys?
Good story. I thought they told a good story.
What about the botch? Are we going to say anything about the botch? You said something about Jade's botch. What about this botch? Two big guys. One of them was Braun Breaker. Couldn't even lift CM Punk high enough to get above the table and slam him down. Come on. They've been around forever, those guys. They've been around between all of them. Like 50 years they've been around together, like all together.
And that wasn't the only botch in that match.
Exactly.
The other big botch.
But Charles Robinson, what a bump by Charles Robinson. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The main
He's a big Evil Knievel fan, by the way. I got to throw that out there.
Yes, he is.
He has an Evil Knievel promotion.
When Cena and Punk did that reversal and they went for that, tried to go for that neck grabber, that looked bad.
Yeah,
that was
I agree.
Really bad. That was a bad spot.
I agree.
It happens,
going back to Charles Robinson, what I love is all the memes that we are now getting about Charles Robinson being killed by John Cena, or Charles Robinson still laying on the ground after being hit by John Cena. That was great, man.
I'm alive.
I didn't know he could run that fast.
And you could tell Cena protected him, though. That was perfect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
They totally erased the WrestleMania meme with that one.
Now, he wouldn't have done that 30 years ago when we didn't have padding around the ring, but we don't take that.
I tell you, the only complaint.
What was padding? What was padding?
The only complaint that I have is that I really wish this feud would have been a bigger build, because as we've seen when John Cena did the reverse pipe bomb that CM Punk did 10, 11 years ago, we didn't really get to see as much as many promos being cut between both of them at one another, because it was kind of a short storyline feud between them. I wish that we would have had a longer storyline, and getting more promos with them going at it, because John Cena is great on the mic and so is CM Punk. I think that would have been great.
Dude, that promo that Punk did as the thug, the old Cena Thug and was gold.
That was great.
That was gold. That was gold. That was money right there.
A lot of the storylines I see these days are pretty lame.
Yeah.
I see better storylines in the indies than I do WWE.
But I think a lot of that has to do with the phone call. The phone call. Hello? Yeah, I know you're paying us how much? Almost $1 billion for how many years? Okay, you want CM Punk against John Cena? Okay, you got it, you Saudi bastards.
Now, real quick before we end the podcast, something that has been all over social media was CM Punk's apology. Everyone's crying and screaming that it was fake, blah, blah, blah. Here's a question. Does anyone really fucking cares if it was fake? We don't know if that apology was sincere or not. We'll never know. We're not CM Punk. All I know is that was a great moment that we've seen happened. It draws the internet fans draws me fucking berserk, man.
But do you know what that did? John Cena was booed before that happened. He was cheered like crazy at the show, which is what they wanted, because Cena's still the heel.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
That helped a lot.
Yeah. And being that also that Punk's a genuine guy, I don't think that apology was fake.
What do I know? I'm all I know to do.
Right.
He's not a Mountain Dew.
Right.
He's going to be running all over the walls.
Yeah. And I agree. I don't think I think it was sincere, but again, who cares if it wasn't? And we will never know. It was a good, feel-good moment that we've seen happen. And Bob Cook is absolutely correct. It was because of that CM Punk was able to get those cheers.
He even hugged the guy. He hugged the guy at the show even.
He did.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, tomorrow night, Barbara Goodish. If you guys live under a rock and you don't know who that is.
I know Barbara. Great lady. She
is awesome.
Amazing. She is the widow of Bruiser Brody. She's going to be on. The podcast is going to be a little different with her tomorrow night, because every podcast she's on, they want to talk about the murder. We're not discussing that tomorrow night. We're going to talk about the good stuff, Bruiser Brody. We're going to be talking about who Scottish was as a person, as a husband, as a father. We're going to be talking about those things. We're going to be talking about who Barbara is tomorrow. So check that out, guys. It's going to be way different than what you normally said. Yeah. There's just,
that.
you know, she is. I met her in St. Louis, and she just took me and my wife in, and she is. Yeah, my wife and I fell in love with her. She is such an amazing woman.
Yeah,
she really is.
She's always at the CAC reunions. So
yep, absolutely.
She's been to our Legends lunches before.
Yeah, she does go to those too. Now I saw the KG that you're coming now to the CAC reunion.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
That's gonna
be. Speaking of which, if you guys go on eBay, I just saw this on eBay. There is a Bruiser Brody Capital from Japan jersey or what do you call it? Zipper top for $75. Cool. Yeah, $75 on eBay right now. Dude, it's nice. It says Brody on the back.
There's a lot of replicas. There's a lot of replicas.
It's nice.
Be careful.
It might be it probably is a replica. I think it is a replica, but for $75 it's still nice and worth it because it looks nostalgic. It looks really cool.
You know, maybe KG, if you want, you could do your podcast during On the Fly.
Well, I was about to tell you, Sean, who works with On the Fly, he actually contacted me. He contacted me and wanted to know if I wanted to help with On the Fly. I said absolutely. So he's supposed to be making contact with me soon, so we could talk about exactly how he wants me to help and what my role's going to be.
You realize in the wrestling business, that's code further. You're never going to hear from him again.
Yeah.
Kim and I's been talking. He's in the hospital right now, so we've been keeping in contact.
There's a lot of that going around. Look at that, Kurt. You're ahead of the game.
Yep. He needs to get permission from Sin first, which I was going to ask Sin about it.
Okay.
I love Sin.
I am willing to help in whatever way I can. I'd be awesome if I could be a part of it. Absolutely.
Doing it would be awesome.
Same here.
Yeah.
I'd love to help anyway.
I really do. Because I'll be there. I do all the interviews. I get, I kind of do some emceeing in the beginning, getting all the crowd going, and then I do interviews between the matches, talking to the guys, seeing where they're from, who trained them.
I'll be there, but I'll be doing my John Cena imitation.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have you pick a match.
Gerald,
hey, Bob,
George, Kurt, hold on, George, hold on, George. I tell you, man.
Hey, you gotta let Kurt go ahead and talk. You might not be here tomorrow.
Jesus Christ!
None of us might not be here tomorrow.
Yeah, real quick, George. I thought about you. Look, I don't know if you're able to get that time off and come to Vegas, but you've been talking about how you want to kind of, be exposed more. And man, On the Fly would be an excellent opportunity for you to be seen.
Yeah, I was listening to it, and my wheels started rolling, man.
You could just go down to the local park and pull your. You could just go down to the local park and take your pants off if you want to be exposed.
I'll make sure. Okay. There you go. And I'll make sure to scream that my name is Bob Cook.
That'll work too. Yeah, George, if you want to participate, let me know.
Yeah,
George,
sure thing, man. I'll reach out.
George, George, you could not expose yourself and say that you're a Bob Cook. You're a black man. There'd be a large difference in size. Bob's a white guy. That's funny.
That's not funny. You ever heard of John Holmes? Don't be counting your chickens.
He does have
you're saying
peach fuzz on his
so you're telling me there's no black men in this planet named Bob Cook?
Who knows?
I'm just saying, none. I'm sure there's a black Bob Cook somewhere.
Gotta be.
Nobody knows
Charlie
what he looks
Cook.
like.
There's a Charlie Cook, and he was a wrestler.
Yeah. There you go.
Not a bad wrestler either.
Yeah.
Kurt,
and there was a Bob Strong too.
So Kurt, before your time comes, ask Bob your question or what you want to say.
You probably forgot now. I have that problem.
Hey, Bob, we were all curious. We wanted to know, is the retirement home going to allow you out for the CAC reunion this year?
No, they will not.
Okay.
So we won't see him.
No.
Yeah, and besides, Bob's got to go celebrate with Gunther anyway after he beats
the reality
Goldberg.
is The reality is that the Evil Knievel Museum is moving from Topeka, Kansas to Las Vegas, and I'm not going to Las Vegas twice in 1 year for nothing. And evil trumps all outs in my world. So,
well, and
I love the
one other reason.
CAC, but I love evil more. See this
Look,
book here? This is the Bible. This is the Bible. I'm sure if I looked at her, I could figure out that God is actually evil. Think.
Look, evil. There's another reason why Bob would not be joining us in CAC. now that he's Mr. High and mighty, Mr. Hall of Famer, he looks down on us losers now.
Yeah, right.
So he doesn't want
the reality is there's been a lot of plane crashes, so fly at your own risk. I'm
driving.
Oh.
There has been a lot, yeah. You're
my wife and I.
Hey, I'm flying.
My wife and I drove there.
Where are you driving from?
I'm flying from Frontier, so I'm guaranteed to die.
Well, the odds of car crashes are much higher than flying.
Yeah, true. No, we're driving from Minnesota. I've
driven to Las Vegas before.
I'm going to be going through Minnesota in about 3 weeks.
Really? Are you going to be staying?
On my way to Sturgis.
I was going to say, if you're staying overnight in Minnesota, let me know. You got a free place to stay at.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm going to Minnesota for Bike Week.
As long as you don't talk about Gunther.
Sturgis, yeah, absolutely. All right, let's wrap this up, guys. It's an hour and a half. I have problems with people just watching the first 10 minutes, much less an hour and a half. So, but again, subscribe to my podcast. Barbara Goodish is going to be on tomorrow night. I want to thank all for participating tonight. It's always a good time on Tuesdays. K9, you are always welcome to join us. You don't have to promote shit. You can join us, do recaps, whatever you want.
Like
Kurt, in case you're not around for the next pay-per-view, man, rest in peace. George.
Not in pieces?
Always nice seeing you guys.
Rest in peace.
All right, but before we go, Bob first, Gerald, the K9, is there anything you guys want to promote?
Who am I, Dead Man?
I'll be playing Xbox on the couch, drinking Mountain Dew in about a minute.
Cool. I'll be playing PlayStation too. But no,
I don't have anything going on either. I might see Bob on Xbox. I'm actually off this week. I don't have anything going on.
Nice.
Well, Kurt or the Rising Dead Man, you got anything?
Yeah,
George, I challenge you in 2K25. I'll be Jade Cargill and you can be Gunther.
Ooh.
Let's do it.
I don't want to see you in the same outfit she wears.
Oh God.
Oh, you won't. You should be wearing her outfit. I'm just going to control the moves, and I won't be botching no pinfalls.
Oh man, go ahead, Kurt.
I just want to, say again, like K9, thank you for being on here tonight. Glad you're promoting and doing what you're doing on Sunday, because I have some talent that I want to bring to you guys too, like the big silverback Joe Helms and Ari Alexander and Barnabas the Bazaar and a couple other guys that were trained by Roger Ruffin and Cody Rhodes, man, that are our future, dude. These guys have the psychology, the ring etiquette, they just, they're a whole package. I betted them. I believe in them all. You want women? I've got women. I highly recommend Ari Alexander. Highly.
What about Atticus Finch?
Who?
Never mind. It's a character. Atticus Finch was a great character on Californication. You ever see the show Californication? Holy crap, it's a great show.
Oh no.
Kurt, I got a question. For you, Kurt.
Yeah. Yes,
why in the blue fuck do you and Mark insist on trying to do my job? I thank my guests for being on, not you.
Oh.
No.
I love what he's doing on Sunday. I love that.
No.
I won't be.
No, you're wrong.
I'm going to be there, but I don't fly in. I don't fly in until 3:15.
No, you roll.
6 or 7.
No, you roll. Be like a dead guy and just sit there and be quiet. Okay.
Damn.
Indeed.
I think he's telling you shut the hell up.
K9, thank you again.
Yeah, thank
K9.
you. Get with KG to get my email, my Facebook hook up, and I'll do the same thing. But again, if you're in the wrestling business, you're a wrestler, you're a manager, you're an announcer, a ref, you need to participate in On the Fly, and you need
Yes.
to join the Flower
Yes.
Alley Club. Period.
Now's your chance to be seen.
Yes.
And again, guys, the website for you to go to both join, get information, caulifloweralleyclub.org. Again, caulifloweralleyclub.org. I will be putting it in the description of the podcast.
Yep.
And also subscribe. Again, everybody, thanks. You have anything else, K9?
One more thing. I just want to say this.
Yeah.
Again, this is hosted by Sin Bodhi and the Super Beast.
Yes.
It's our second year, and it's going to be awesome.
I'd like to say one thing.
Go ahead, Bob.
So long from the Sunshine State.
I'm at the Sunshine State, too, so long.
You all have a good one. Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.
Be safe.